Also wanted to ask about evaluating players. That's a big, obviously a huge part of your job as a head coach and now as a coordinator. You're saying yes to who you're bringing in the program. What are the things, are there a couple of things that you look for on film right away, regardless of position, to say this guy can play in our defense? And two-part, how do you also balance, kind of back to the risk of like the physical measurements being good versus high production on film? Because sometimes not always, now Bama gets a lot of those guys, but like you may have a guy that's got 33-inch arms at corner, but like isn't playing that well, but is he worth taking if he can run well? How do you evaluate those kind of players?
No, I think you got to have a certain, whether it be skill set on the field or measurables, we call them critical factors here, right? That you have to really abide by, and there's going to be some outliers to those things. Coach Saban, and I have talked about this a whole lot in the last few months because I wanted to know, he's probably arguably one of the best evaluators that there's been in getting player after player and draft pick after draft pick in this program once they were developed. And so, he said the measurables are the measurables, and you got to really stick to those things. But don't dismiss any one player for one thing. So, for example, if maybe they don't have quite the measurables that you normally take, but they're elite in a couple other categories, and they don't have a second trait that is below the line, whatever you want to say there. I think those are the guys, right, that you look at a little bit longer and go, okay, can we make this work?
Real quick, guys, I have a free $100 deposit bonus for you from Prize Picks with my code AdamB or the link in my bio. Prize Picks is the best way to fire on sports because you pick players instead of teams. It's the most fun, and if you know how players are going to perform, you can make up to 10x your money. So go get that $100 bonus with my code AdamB or link in my bio.
Because this guy has XYZ, right, that puts him on a different category. But I think if you get too far away from, what you say you need from a measurable standpoint, that can be an issue. For us, I think Alabama has been successful here for a long time because we've had big people, right? As the game goes on, big people stay big, right? Those little fast guys, they may not be quite as fast in the fourth quarter, right? They get a little more worn down. And so for us, right, we want to make sure that we're staying long, that we're staying big, particularly up front. But the game has evolved even at the NFL level of if you're any type of defensive skill player, you have to be able to make space tackles, right? So, the days of having the 260-pound inside linebacker are the way of the dodo bird right now. You've got to have somebody that can make plays in space, that has great spatial awareness, right? And has the athleticism to stay with some of these offensive skill players that are very dynamic, right? In space as well. And so that's something that is very heightened for us. We're a very instinctive-based defense. We play a lot of vision-oriented coverage. Put your eyes on the quarterback, relate to routes, as the quarterback works into that. And so I think instincts are a really big piece of what we do. Great athletes with instincts, right? Everybody wants those guys, right?
How do you find
but we certainly put a premium, right, on making sure that, you can take a developmental guy every now and then that may not have those instincts in high school, but I don't think you want to build your entire roster with guys like that.